Hello there, you are welcome back. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Adiola. You are welcome to Olabooks International, where we talk about books, authors, writing, reading, and the likes. I resumed the reading of my novel Colors of Love last week, and this week I will finish reading chapter 9, and at the end I will share my view of a part of the story that stands out to me. I believe we can all learn from one another. The more reason why Olabooks Readers Reviews is outstanding. I share, you share. Please drop your comments down below or on my various social media platforms like you've been doing. Thank you so much for those reviews. Please keep them coming. And I would like for you to stop down in the comment section below so that you can view the links to previous readings of Colors of Love and other books that I've read in the past. And also, if you would like to have a copy of the book, the links to where you could purchase the books are there. So, without taking so much of your time, let's get into reading. Colors of Love, front cover, back cover. So I have my bookmark where we stopped reading the last time, and I will continue reading from page 92, and I will finish chapter 9 today. Susie had to change his plans about going home after work on that fateful day because Susan had texted him to say she saw his wife. He had been avoiding her since he got married, but had been sending her money. Susie was relieved of the tension when he realized she wasn't pressuring him into paying her visits. There was no communication between them except the short thank you messages he received from her each time he sent her money. He called her to ask what was going on. She said it was nothing and didn't bother to give him further information. He decided to pay her a visit. She did not say anything to stop him from visiting her, probably because she did not think he would. He still took a flight to Texas. He just didn't go home. He went straight to Susan's house. He had some problems figuring out what to tell his wife. He was supposed to be back in Texas with his wife after 3 days on the business trip, but he had to see Susan. He ended up telling her something came up and was surprised when she did not ask him what it was. She was probably tired from grocery shopping. She was always shopping. Susan was surprised to see him. She had thought he would call her to talk about the information she had given him about his wife, but she was wrong. He was right there on her front porch. "Hello, Susan." Susan stared at him as if he was a ghost. She was dumbfounded. Is this the same Tosin or his spirit? "Can I come in?" She made way for him to come in and motioned for him to sit down. Then she found her voice. "Why are you here?" "To see you. And, baby," he said, stammering the word baby and pointing at her stomach. "You look so different," he said, looking at her intensely. "I guess I now look ugly to you," she said sarcastically. "Actually more beautiful," he said with the same soft voice that had always made her forget her worries. And she did. She forgot about her promise to stop loving him. She was looking at the love of her life, the father of her unborn child. She had missed him so much. How could she ever forget him? Impossible. She offered to get him something to eat. She had some bitter leaf soup in the freezer that her aunt had prepared the last time she visited. All she had to do was defrost it in the microwave and make some gari to go along with it. She set out the food and had a bottle of sparkling cider to go with it. They sat down together to eat, at first in silence, and then he broke the silence. "This is delicious. You still cook good soups," she responded with a smile. She wanted to ask him if his wife didn't cook for him. But the moment meant so much to her, she didn't want to mess around with it by mentioning his wife's name. Have you ever thought about being a professional cook? You can open an African Auntie Joy made the soup. I didn't. Oh, I see. I have not been able to cook or eat very well for months. I had to quit my job. Auntie Joy has been accommodating. She cooks, shops, cleans, and checks on me regularly. She told him how she had been sick and miserable for months. She was just getting better. She hadn't eaten well for so long. She concluded by saying his presence must have done the magic. Only then a phone call came through for Tosin from the doctor's office. He ignored it and put his phone on silent mode. He continued listening to Susan. When she was finished talking, he held her hand and promised to never leave her by herself again. She told him that was a lie because he was married to someone else. He responded by saying she was his responsibility because he had impregnated her. At that moment, she wanted to tell him about how she met his wife at the store, but he motioned for her to stop. I love you, Susan, he said. I had thought keeping away from you would take your love out of my heart, but I was mistaken. I still love you, despite the circumstances. I still do. What are we going to do about it? She asked. We keep on loving each other, period. I'm spending the night here to start with. At that moment, Susan forgot all the promises she made to herself and her aunt to stay away from him. She ignored the prayer of forgiveness of sins and forgot about seeing Carrie and apologizing to her. She was looking at the man holding her hand and professing his love for her. She tried to avoid locking eyes with him. She decided to withdraw her hands from his firm grasp, but couldn't. He whispered the words, I'm sorry. She looked into his eyes and tears rolled down her face. She remembered the lonely nights, the nightmares, the pain of suffering without him. She couldn't resist his love. She had to accept him again. Then he went on his knees. Now that was too much. He was begging for her love. She had to take it since he was giving it on a platter of gold. He fulfilled his promise of spending the night with her. It was a Friday, and so he decided to stay for the weekend. He didn't check his phone until noon the next day, and he found out that his wife had called him 10 times. He called back. She wanted to know why he hadn't answered his phone. He said he had left it in the hotel room before he went for an all-night meeting. He didn't realize he had left her behind until this morning. He had just found it in the corner of his bed and it was on silence. That was the beginning of lies. The lies came so quickly and they always worked. He lived his double life with no remorse. He sometimes joked about it as what he was made for. Carrie told him she was at the hospital. He was shocked to hear the news but was relieved to hear she was okay. And he faked excitement when she told him she was pregnant. Tosin was confused. He had 2 grown women pregnant. This is insanity. So he thought. He told her he would be on the next flight home. Susan gave him a questioning look. Breaking your promise already? Not at all. I am staying for the weekend. Let Carrie be on the lookout for me. Luckily for Susan, Auntie Joy called to say she would not be able to visit as promised. She had an urgent meeting to attend. Susan was elated. She didn't have to worry about explaining to Auntie Joy about her reunion with Tosin. He was all hers this time. She wouldn't let him slip out of her hands. He called Carrie and told her the next available flight to Houston was not until 5 p.m. on Sunday. She believed him. Tosin knew his wife was very sensitive to smell, so he decided to do laundry before he left. He made sure he was wearing a washed shirt and a clean pair of pants on his way home. He got back around 9 p.m. The end of chapter 9. Interesting. So I have questions. If you are a man and you double date, or you are a man who cheats on your wife, how easy is that for you? I mean, we could see from what I read that Tosin, it looks like he's taking pleasure in cheating on his wife. Now he's professing his love to his ex, who he impregnated before he got married. And he's telling lies to his wife. I mean, don't you have conscience? Why do some men behave like that? I don't understand it. And I do understand that some women do that as well. But I want to say that, if you double date or if you cheat on your spouse, I want you to know it is very, very wrong. Why do you mess around with people's feelings? Why put yourself in their shoes? How would you have felt to realize that your spouse is cheating on you? Now, his wife was calling him from the doctors. He kept telling lies. Now his wife is pregnant and he has his ex pregnant as well. A man with 2 pregnant women. How would he survive this? What is going to happen? Now, I want to say a little thing about, having a family. If you want to have a family, I believe that a family is supposed to be a father, a mother, and the children. That is the only way we can give the children exactly what they need, exactly what is required of them to grow well. Because the part where the mom can take care of, the dad may not be able to take care of that part. Now, when the dad brings in his part, the mom brings in her part, and then the child grows well to become a good person in life. This is not to say being a single parent is wrong, or being a single parent is an abomination. No. So many people find themselves being single parents, not because they want you to be like that, but that is just how it is. I just want to say that when you are married, you should be faithful to your partner. If you know you will not be faithful to your partner, then there is no point being married, because there is a covenant. You have entered into a covenant with your spouse. The day you say, I do, you have entered into a covenant. And that covenant right there stands if you make it stand. So, having another person out there you're professing your love to, aside from your spouse, is ridiculous. And I think even though it is popular, many people do it, I do not believe it is fair. You're not being fair to your spouse. You shouldn't play on your spouse's feelings like that. Now, let's see what's going to happen in the story. He has 2 grown women pregnant. One of them is wife, one of them is ex. And we just heard him professing his love to his ex. Does it mean he doesn't love his wife? That's a question. That's another question. Does it mean he doesn't love his wife? Men who cheat, women who cheat, does it mean you do not love your spouse? Is it possible to love 2 people at the same time? Or are we interpreting lust for love? Because that is what I think is happening here. I believe you can only love one person. What you feel for the other person might be lost, and you are calling it love. I, as a person, I so much believe that when you love someone, you do not want to hurt that person's feelings. When you love someone, you do not want to hide anything from that person. So when you find yourself hiding things, when you find yourself having to profess love to someone else other than your spouse, then something is wrong with you. Thank you. This is all I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed the reading. I hope you agree with my comments. If you disagree, please leave me your comments below. If you agree, also leave me a comments below. And I want to say, if you have enjoyed these few minutes you spend on this channel, do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to like, and do not forget to share with your friends. Until next time, when I come your way again, reading Colors of Love, chapter 10. Stay tuned and be blessed. Bye.